India. So, like even in and another important point is that this popular slogans or it may be popular scheme. It's not only working out in India. Even if you take consider in other parts of the world, there also we can see this kind of the popular slogans or the popular schemes or programs also schemes or programs also we can say that even if you take an example of America, Donald Trump, or it may be the any other presidential candidate, they used to have their own famous slogans like "We build America," or we are the Americans, or we can come back to the America. That's something like their own slogans. Again, number one, America, like that. They used to frame the popular slogans to gain the attentions of the people and the vote from the people. Similarly, even in India also we can witness that our political parties also come out with a lot of popular that means slogans and schemes and the programs to gain the political power and to become a popular in the nation. So let's see the today's topic, the politics of a populism in post-colonial India. So here I divided my presentation into seven, eight, nine categories. Like in the beginning, I'm talking about the introduction and the meaning. Later on, I'm more towards the nature of the populism in the politics. And next starts the post-colonial period. What exactly the populism stands in India and how it developed. And today, we all know that, particularly if you take an example of Karnataka, the five guarantee scheme, which is introduced by the present government, which no that means not 100%. We can say that the entire that five guarantee scheme made the Congress to gain the power in Karnataka. Maybe other factors also responsible, but to the maximum extent, we can say that this Siddaramaya's five guarantee scheme played a crucial role in gaining the political power in Karnataka. Similarly, maybe you take consideration of a Tamil Nadu or Andhra, Telangana, or it may be the Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi, or it may be in Punjab, and even in central government, Modi, our prime minister, also coming out with a free base. And we all know that the merits and the demerits of this free base. But I personally feel that our political parties are not so much bother for the any financial loss or the gain for the free base. Only their objective to attain the political power. So let's see how this started, this popular schemes and the slogans, which made years together, period to period, how our political parties able to attain the power in central government or it may be in the state governments. So that start from 1947 to 1960, that is early post-independence period. The next thing is that the rise of the mass populism in India, particularly 1970s to 1980s. Then 1980s and 1990s, where the crucial period, I can say that the regional political parties started their journey in gaining the political power by overcoming the national political parties. So regional parties started attaining the importance in the state. Then comes in 1991 to 2000, it was, as you all know, that it's the era of the LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalizations. So during this period, the course of the political discourse also we need to understand, and how the LPG is supported this populist schemes, programs to gain the political power of for the our political parties. Next comes the present political system, where in 2010 to till today, that is contemporary populism in India, where I'll explain how the present conditions or the slogan schemes supported the political parties to gain the power. And lastly, the effects and the impacts of the contemporary populism. And last, conclude. This is how I segregated my today's topic on Indian politics of populism in during in post independence period. Let's begin with the introduction, the meaning. I'm not going to explain much about that. There are a lot of slides, are there important points I wanted to explain. Just go through it, and if you find any difficulty in any point of a time, you can raise your questions. Politics of populism. So basically, it refers to a political style or a strategy of a political parties to gain the attentions or the votes of the people. Particularly, they try to address or they try to grab the votes of a common man. It may be right-wing political parties or it may be the left-wing political parties. They all concentrated particularly on the common man, and they try to address the common man with a lot of freebies or it be popular schemes. So they use emotional appeal and direct communications and symbolic gestures to gain the mass political support from the common man. And here, very importantly, we need to understand that this political populism, please note that it is not any kind of an ideology like a liberalism, socialism, democratism, or it may be communism, any isms, what we study in political science like that. This populism not is an ideology or an ism. Okay, basically it is a political method used by both right wings and left wing just to gain the political power. So it is a method, not an ideology. So what happens after post-colonial India, after independence, when the country gained independence from British colony? These are the three points we need to stress on that. After independence, our nation was a new nation. Basically, it is a democratic, based on the philosophies of the democracy. We got our independence. So democratic nation building was essential for all our political leaders. And apart from that, economical and social transformation also very much important after independence. Why? We were completely looted and destroyed by the British colonial system. Before British colonials were entered to India, we were very rich in all the sectors, like it may be gold or it may be minerals or it may be anything you name. We were the richest in the world before Britishers and other colonials come to India in the name of the marketing, or it may be trade. But later what happened, you all know that they looted India like anything. So because of the reason, we become very, very poor, and it becomes a responsibility of our leaders to improve the economical and social structure of India. So because of this, and another thing is that by the time when we got an independence, there were a lot of issues like inequality, hierarchy, and centralization of power were existed, because many of the rulers, even after independence, they were ruling the smaller states or it may be smaller places as their own kingdom. So bringing all the rulers and the kingdoms under the one umbrella, it was a bigger task, and wonderfully it was done by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. That means what I'm trying to say is that unity in the United India, creation of the United India was the greatest task in those days. And also highly unequal society. So the main point here, what I'm trying to say is that in 1940, after 1947, we need to build a nation where we had an unequal society, inequality, a lot of social issues were existed. So addressing all these things, our political leaders, they promise a direct benefits and symbolic recognitions to our people in such a way that we can come together and lead a beautiful nations. That's why the India was united based on our language and a culture. Like the Kannada people speaking people, they're all united in one places, and that we call it as Karnataka. Like Tamil speaking people, they're all united that particular, that means near Madras and all those things. The surrounding places is called as Tamil Nadu. Like language and culture played a very significant role to build our nation. So after independence, building our nation becomes a crucial, and that was wonderfully done by our political leaders. So moving towards the nature and characteristics, if you understand the nature and characteristics of the populism, then becomes easy to know what is populism and other things. Basically, populism is an anti-elite heretic. So it is not in favor of the rich class people. It is not in favor of the people who are themselves they are called as highly educated or as civilized people. Something they pose in such a way that we know everything and we are the one who are uh, 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 the future of the India. So this populism or schemes or it may be programs is not for such a elite class people. So if you take an example of a Modi or it may be Nehru and Gandhi family, where Modi is considered as a man of a common people, where Nehru and Gandhi family till now they consider as they are from the English, that means westernized, something like studied, or it may be the civilized people like that. They are very wealthy people and rich people and highly educated. Something like that. They are the elite class people, where Modi is a common class people, refers to the common man. So, like that, it is for the anti heretic. Uh, 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 that means system, the characters, or it may be the nature. The next is personalization of a politics. So in the populism, the personalization is also plays a very important role. Leadership becomes a centered around charisma and the personality. Like Indira Gandhi referred as the Mother India, Iron Lady, and Modi as the Vikas Purush, MGR in Tamil Nadu as a savior of the poor. In Karnataka, our own the present Chief Minister Sidramaya is referred as the champion of Ahimsa. That kind of the charishma, the mass appearance, the mass leadership played significant role in the development of the populism in India. So personalization of politics is also significant. The next thing is that mass welfare promises from the political parties like Indira Gandhi, who introduced the Garibi Hatao, Jayalalitha, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Amma canteens, and apps, free electricity and healthcare. Really, this Tamil Nadu and Aam Aadmi parties, freebies, really we need to think and analyze. It is a challenging for the research where app back to back they won the elections in Delhi. Not only in Delhi, they also established their power to Punjab. Their course of ideas and populist schemes mainly supported them to gain the power in Punjab and in the Delhi. And even in some significant political gains also they made in Rajasthan, or it may be the Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. So they started their own political base mainly because of his populism schemes. The next thing is that identity-based mobilizations. So if you take example of in Uttar Pradesh, where BSP Mayawati become the first woman chief minister in Uttar Pradesh, that's mainly because of the Dalit mobilizations. The Dalit card, we can say that. That is the use of the caste, religion, language, or it may be the region. So when Mayawati and Kanchiram played a Dalit card or the Dalit mobilization, that give them a political power in Uttar Pradesh, defeating the big national parties like Congress and the BJP. And later, BJP is also realized in such a way that if they want to come to power, we also need a good and a solid populist slogan or the programs. So they started Hindu nationalism. Or if you take example of in South India, particularly in Tamil Nadu, the Dravidian anti-Brahmin movement, again, and the still it is uh, a big movement, we can say that. So the next thing is that use of symbolism and slogans like India shining, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Jai Mean, Jai Telangana. Like that, every state has its own slogans, popular slogans to gain the political power, to attain the political power. So that becomes a crucial, the political symbolism and the slogans becomes a crucial for the our political parties. The next thing is that emotional and the direct communications. The best example for the emotional and the direct communication is the presently, if you take Modi's Man Ki Baat, where it's reaching crores and crores of people through radio. Or you take an example of Kejriwal's YouTube addresses or WhatsApp groups, where our political parties very significantly they're making use of electronic media for the political mobilizations and to gain the political mileage, where they directly try to communicate with the common man and they wanted to attach with the common man in an emotional, or they wanted to build a kind of a relations like an emotional kind of a relations with the common man, and they wanted to get the political power. So by considering all the nature and the characteristics of the uh, populism, finally we can come to such a conclusion that understanding populism in post-colonial India is basically based on how democracy functions behind elections and in emotional and symbolic registers that we can able to analyze. The next thing is that tensions between the representation and the governance. So how we need to govern the, or how we need to care the administration or the system, and how our representation has to be maintained or managed with the people. And challenges. populism poses to the liberal democratic institution. All those things we can able to understand in a later stages by period to period. So populism is not just a symptom, but also method of a political representations. So that is the one key point. What we need to understand is that populism is not a symptom. It is a method of a political representation. So let's start with the present contest. We can say that 1 minute. So during the period of 1947 to 1966 is the first phase, I can say that populism in the early post-independence period. So in this period, as earlier I told you that mainly we focused during this period for the building our nation. Okay, so building our nation. So Jawaharlal Nehru was our first prime minister, and you all know that he laid the foundational discourse for the populist politics in India. Undoubtedly, we can say that Nehru is the first person who started the populist politics in India. So he tried to establish the political culture where the leaders is seen as the guardian of the people, a key populist treat later adopted by the Indira Gandhi and others also. What I'm trying to say is that Nehru is the first person who started these kind of the populist programs or the schemes where he created the environment in such a way that our political leaders, the people should think in such a way that our political leaders are the guardians of the people. So whatever our political leaders says, whatever our political leaders bring as a programs are introduced, all those are all welfare programs. Welfare programs. Because of the reason, Nehru introduced the 5-year plan and the state as the providers. Nehru created the planning commissions. With that, the industries, dams, and all other programs were launched with the 5-year plan that we call it as popularly Pancha Varshika Yojana. So majority of the industries or it may be the what we can, even we can refer that Navaratnas, the 9 gems of industries were started during the times of the Nehru. And AIMS, IIMs, IITs, triple ITs, almost all the IISCs, almost all the popular educational institutions, big industries, dams, all those are all programs which is introduced by the Nehru, which made the political leaders are the guardians of the people. So the state was imagined as an engine of a welfare and a changes, providing a dams, industries, education, health sector. Nehru gave a much importance to these sectors because he was very much aware that India was a 70% depends on agriculture. So he constructed several dams so that we can able to cater the agriculture sector with the water. So our farmers should not face any kinds of the water issues. And also economically to develop the nation, Nehru come out with the industries, even though Gandhiji and others, they wanted small scale industries, but but Nehru was in favor of the big industries. Today, because of the such a visionary and a plan of a Nehru and other leaders, we are able to have a big industries, IITs and IIMs and all these things. The Bakranangal Dam is one of the best example, and like that there are so many other examples also is there. Nehru's famous speech on India's destiny, where he says that long years ago we made a trust with a destiny. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will wake to life and freedom. This speech contrasts a mythical and emotional and national popular story where common man can easily easily can attach with the government and the government leaders and our political leaders. With this emotional attachment, our leaders started gaining a political mileage, we can say, where the use of a language, of a sacrifice, awakening, destiny, all common elements are the populist communications. So our leaders, they used very beautifully where they can able to attach emotionally with the people in the name of the national
ಈ ರಾಜಾವಾದ ಸಿದ್ಧ ಬಂದ್ರ
priority, in the name of the national priority, or in the name of the language, or in the name of the culture. So all those things were beautifully used to attach with the people. So what happened after the death of the Nehru? Again, one of the greatest leader becomes the Prime Minister of India, that is Lal Bahadur Shastri. Very short person, but a great visionary, and he was not in power for a maximum period of a time, but his works still dominates Indian system. And he is also, Lal Bahadur Shastri is also come out with an emotional populism or a slogan, as we all know that our entire India was united with his slogan, not only from the Kisan or agriculture part, with our soldiers and leaders. That's particularly Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. There's a one slogan of a Lal Bahadur Shastri which created a kind of the a spirit from all sections of the people to fight against the Pakistanis in a war or against the China. So that's really one of the great thing we can say that. And this is also encashed, such a kind of the populism slogans was very easily encashed by the Indira Gandhi after Lal Bahadur Shastri's death. So she's also started using such a kinds of the slogans, welfare programs, and she developed as a charismatic leader in India. That's the first phase. The second phase is the 1970s to 1980s. What happened here? The Congress party faced internal uh, divisions. There was external criticism also is there. Then ideological, there are some changes. Why? Because after the death of the Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi becomes the prime minister, and she is the first lady to lead independent India, and that was not acceptable by the many of the male political leaders, and controlling the party inside and outside and facing all kinds of the criticism is not a great it is not a small job. It's really a great thing, and that was beautifully managed by Mrs. Indira Gandhi. So not only that, there were economic crises like food shortage, inflation, unemployment, rising public dissatisfaction. All those things is existed during this period, 1970s to 1980s. That's only because of the we were in a war. So because of war and all those things, lot of issues were arised. So Indira Gandhi used the televisions, radio, mass political parties to gain the sympathy and attentions and popularity among the people. So these televisions, radio, and political rallies allowed leaders to speak directly to the people, bypassing the party machinery. So this new kind of the development, it's bring closure with the people. So politics moved from being elite lead, as earlier I told you that Gandhi family is somewhere we consider as a elite leaders, where Modi is considered as a common man. So during this 1970s and 80s, such that Indira Gandhi's elite lead and institutionally driven is moved to the mass-based, motive and leader-centric, and there is a lot of transaction. So Indira Gandhi is also realized that we need to make our party as a common people party, not as an elite leaders party. So because of the reason, she started very famous program that is Garibi Hatao. So concentrating mainly on the poor sections of the people. So this is a landmark populist schemes are the programs which started in 1971, which greatly gave a greater credits to the Indira Gandhi and also political power to Indira Gandhi. So Garibi Hatao, Desh Bachao. So after some time, again there is a internal problems and all was there. So there was issues in the Congress and all these things. So even though she is successful in gaining a political power in 1971 general elections. So apart from that, after 1971 landslide victory, Indira Gandhi further introduced lot of populist programs by nationalizing all the banks in 1969, nationalizing the banks, abolition of the privy purses, tenancy reforms, and land ceiling acts. So these are the very popular programs where common man were attached. Common man interest were existed. So Indira Gandhi particularly channelizing the common man, she introduced nationalization of banks, abolition of the privy purses, and tenancy reforms and land ceiling acts. And also, Indira Gandhi was projected as the Ma Durga by the media and allies. But it is in a positive way, not in a negative. So later on, again, there was some ups and downs in the Congress. So that leads to the emergency declaration of the emergency by the same old our own Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So that is from 1975 to 1977. So Indira Gandhi somewhere moved towards the authoritarian dictatorship, which leads to the collapse of our government and also the end of the Indira Gandhi era, even though she gave a lot of populist programs, but that has not supported the declaration of an emergency, and after programs are not supported her for the once again come to the power. So post-emergency, what happens? The opposition political parties started gaining importance in India, and not only is gaining importance in India, also they come to the power in the name of the Janata Party. So particularly the BJP, then it was a Janasangh and other political parties, they all united and they framed the government. So they also use the famous slogan Loktantra Bachao, that is save democracy. And also Indira Hatao Desh Bachao, remove Indira, save the nation. So, and these slogans people supported, not only accepted these slogans, they also supported and also gives the power to the people, that means Janata Party, or it may be Janasangh and other regional parties. So in 1980s and the 1990s, the next phase is 1980s and the 1980s. So basically, this is the period the regional parties started gaining attentions, particularly in South India. Decline in the dominance of the Indian National Congress because mainly no mass leaders are the charismatic leaders during this period after the death of the Indira Gandhi. Maybe after the death of the Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi came to power, but he not able to come out with a popular schemes, or he not become a popular leader or a charismatic leader. So overall, there is a decline of the Indian National Congress in 1980s and 1990s. That led to the emergence of a powerful regional parties across the nation. The main reason for the rise of the regional party, weakening of the Congress party. The next thing is that assertion of the regional identity. So national political parties declining in recognizing the culture and ethnic diversity and giving much importance to the regional aspects. One of the main reason why the regional political parties started gaining importance, particularly in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala and Karnataka, in other parts of the southern India, or it may be in Bengal. So other parts of India, they all started their cultural identity as the pride of our states. So that was not easily recognized by the national politics. So then the state political leaders, they framed their own political parties, and they started dominating the state politics. So where Indian National Congress lost its importance. That is particularly the localized grievances that national parties often ignored. Another interesting and important thing is that the rise of the regional party is the Mandal Commission's report and a caste-based mobilization. Particularly when VP Singh was the prime minister in 1990s, he gave a rise to the OBC-based politics, especially in North India. That is the reason why the Dalit movement was started, and in particular in Uttar Pradesh, and Mayawati becomes a chief minister because of the Dalit and OBC movement. And also, you know that the economical crisis and all. So, charismatic leadership, many regional leaders projected themselves as a protector of the poor and marginalized, particularly N.T. Ramarao in Andhra Pradesh, Lalu Prasad Yadav in Bihar, Mulayam Singh Yadav in Uttar Pradesh, Jayalalitha in Tamil Nadu, Mayawati in Uttar Pradesh. And again, if you come to Karnataka, Ramakrishna Hegde from the Janata Dal, or it may be H.D. Devegowda from Karnataka, from Janata Party. So they all started projecting themselves as the protector of the poor and marginalized people. We can see that Devegowda is always referred as the son of the soil, Mannina Maga. We call him as a Mannina Maga. So a pro agriculturalist, pro poor people. So that kind of that means the projections lead to the development of the political party, regional political party, and they come to the power. And these regional parties they all started a lot of pro-poor schemes, particularly free electricity, subsidized rice, caste-based reservations, jobs, and housing where housing schemes to the poor people. They all becomes a popular schemes which attracted the poor people and support for the regional political parties. Particularly, if you take an example in Tamil Nadu, NTR's 2 rupees kg or the Sidramaya's Annabhagya 1 rupee per kg. So, lot of freebies which is given, provided by the regional political parties started gaining support from the people. Then later on, language and the cultural populism, the importance or a promotion of the local languages lead to the development of the regional parties. Like in Karnataka, Kannadave Modalu. We call it as well, Kannadave Modalu. The first is Kannada, then comes the next. Same way in almost all the regional or the states, the regional languages started gaining importance. Even today in Tamil Nadu, there is not much importance to the Hindi. That doesn't support the Hindi as a second language. So AADMK, DMK, they stand under anti-Hindi imposition. Similarly, the regional political parties and the populist schemes, if you see that in those days, Telugu Desam Party, N.T. Ramarao, and his populist appeal was the self-respect of Telugu people in Andhra Pradesh. DMK, ADMK, Karunanidhi, RHM, Jayalalitha, again, they were in the Tamil Pride welfare programs. Then Mulayam Singh Yadav, OBC empowerment. Uttar Pradesh. Lalu Prasad, social justice and anti-elite. Mayawati, Dalit assertions, Bahujan mobilization. Shiva Sena, again, one of the most important regional parties in South India, that is Shiva Sena, Bal Thackeray's Marathi identity and anti-immigrant heroic, particularly that. Assam Gana Parishad, AGP, Praful Mahanta in Assamese nationalism. So these are some of the local language self-respect which made the regional political parties to gain the political power in the states. So what is the major impact after this regional political parties? So once the regional political parties started gaining importance, the era of the coalitions were began. So there is no other options to the national political parties than aligning with the regional parties. And even the regional parties, they've started playing a significant and dominant role even in the national politics, like in the United Front government, or it may be NTA, or it may be UPA, particularly in Tamil Nadu's AADMK or DMK, or it may be Chandrababu Naidu, Telugu Desam Party. They all started bargaining, or they played a role of the kingmakers in the national politics. So the era of the coalition politics was started. There is a shift in the political discourse from the more localized and caste-based politics. And even the national political parties is also adopted and accepted the change as a more localized and a caste-based politics. So they started forming the alliance with the regional parties and started giving much importance to the localized products, or it may be localized things, and the caste politics. So regional leaders demanded often received a greater autonomy and a financial revolutions, and policies also started changing. So all these things are made a greater impact. This only because of the beginning of the regional political parties. And the next thing is that the era of the LPG 1991 to 2000, where the LPG liberation privatization era was started, and during this time, really we are very lucky to have our great leader Manmohan Singh as a finance minister, and later he became the prime minister of India also. His vision played a significant role. India becomes the greatest economy, that means a developing economy in the world. So his populist schemes also supported for the development of the Indian economy. So welfare schemes within the liberal frameworks, like a free electricity, subsidized educations, loan waivers, and other benefit. First time the Congress waived up the loans of the farmers, and education system was subsidized, and even they started giving a free electricity to the people. Tamil Nadu and other political parties started establishing IT-based economical growth. And also the development of the beginning of the era of the Narendra Modi during this period as the Gujarat chief minister. And as a Gujarat chief minister, Narendra Modi, his developmental project becomes a model for the entire India as the Gujarat model, combining the development with the strong leadership populism. So continuous back-to-back power in Gujarat by the Narendra Modi, which made him to come to the central leadership as the Prime Minister of India. And again, Modi was successful in central leadership also, again back-to-back power. And India Modi made India as a Vishwa Guru as a in the developmental goals. Then symbolic populism, leaders used nationalistic and cultural and moral, this all also I already told you. The rise of the BJP is Hindutva populism. And another interesting point is that during this period, India shining campaign was a maximum economic optimism and a cultural pride. Maybe Vajpayee come out with the best of the best government, but it backfired in 2004 elections. But BJP again gained its control on the central government, projecting Modi as the prime minister and Hindutva as a schemes and programs. So here in 1991 to 2000, mainly we see the PV Nasim Rao as the prime minister. So he populist strategy was the balanced reforms with the targeted subsidies. So during this period, under the leadership of the Nasim Rao, uh, Manmohan Singh was the finance minister, and the era of the LPG was started. So maintained the subsidies, well liberalized economy. Then later, it was the time of the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, where India Shining campaign was started. Unfortunately, it was not given a success to the Vajpayee. But the road development, telecom boom, Kargil war, which brought a lot of name and fame to the Vajpayee. And also the smiling Buddha, that is under the leadership of the Vajpayee, we becomes a nuclear power nation. So in Jayalalitha, as you all know, that all freebies, and Tamil Nadu, in Andhra Pradesh, it is Chandrababu Naidu, tech savvy, the IT boom, Silicon Valley was started in Hyderabad. And we are also, Karnataka is not far from Andhra Pradesh. Later on, we'll also give a much importance to the electronic or the IT sectors, and Bengaluru become the Silicon Valley of the India. And there is a huge IT boom in Karnataka, particularly in Bengaluru. So Bihar, it is the Lalu Prasad Yadav. So he focused on the caste-based populism and anti-elite like a Yadava and Muslims alliance, which brought the power to the Lalu Prasad Yadav and Mayawati. So coming to the present era, that is the contemporary populism in India in 2010s to 2020s. It is a new age which marks the significant transformation from a classical economic populism to the more cultural changed, digitally amplified, and leader-centric populism. This is the time completely managed by the electronic. That is the era of the e-governance, we can say. This is the era of the mass media, electronic media, very beautifully used by the BJP to reach out to the people and attain the power. The charismatic power of the Modi and other things also supported the BJP and other political parties also. So it is characterized by the fusion of a nationalism, welfare populism, and charismatic leaders. So communicated with the new media platforms. So the key characteristics of the during this period were the center leader centric, where populistic politics is heavily personalized with the strong leaders like Modi's image as a chaiwala to prime minister, Pradhan Sevak and Vikas Purush. So a chaiwala is becoming the prime minister. That image created a kind of the common man personality to the Modi. That is all because of the emergence of the new digital media. So digital media and a populism that created again more and more mass appeal to our political leaders. Particularly today's Modi, this Man Ki Baat, our Twitter campaign, our WhatsApp networks. So welfare plus nationalism. So it's a kind of the blend of the welfare schemes, free food, housing, Ujjwala gas, with a national pride and Hindu cultural symbols. PM Garibi Kalyana Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, Ram Mandira. So these are all very popular programs from the nationalism prospect. So popularization and identity politics, Hindutva, CAA, NRC debate, and even the Tukde Tukde gang. So these are the more of a debate discussed. That means issues during this period. Anti-establishment, the anti-elite narrative, like political elites, intellectual and bureaucracies are portrayed as a corrupt and out of touch. Campaign against the legends Delhi promises to clean up the system. So these are the key characteristics of the contemporary populism. And lastly, the major populist trend in 2010s and the 2020s, Modi's populist nationalism since 2014 exemplifies the contemporary populism like a welfare programs, nationalist programs, and digital programs. Like particularly Balakot attack or the strike, Article 370 abbreviations, and other things. So next in the BJP's cultural populism, Hindu unity against the corrupt secular elite and appeasement politics. So that is Ram Mandira, Bhumi Puja, or it may be our inauguration of the Ram Mandira, uniform civil code, discussions and anti-cow slaughters law all mobilized people in favor of the BJP. Not only in the BJP, even Aam Aadmi Party also, they emphasize the clean politics. And in the name of the clean politics and whatever the freebie they gave, that it gave them a power. And even in Karnataka, uh, Siddaramaya's schemes and all those things. So, move towards the last one, effects and impacts of the contemporary populism. So there are positive as well as the negative consequences also. What is the positive outcomes? Efficient welfare delivery via digital governance has become a popular because of the populist schemes or the programs. So direct benefit. So account to account transfer from the government. Many of the people, students, women, they're all able to get their dues, or it may be the money directly from the people, directly from the government. So direct leader citizen connection was improved because of the development in the e-governance and the digitalizations, we can say that. Political participation in new voter group has emerged because of the populism, that is a youth, women, and urban poor. Emergence of the issue-based populism in some states like education, health, and urban governance. So these are some of the positive outcomes of the uh, populism schemes and other things. Well, similarly, if you see the negative consequences of the populism is an erosion of the democratic institutions. Because of the populism schemes, we're not able to have a greater debate, even in parliamentary, inside the parliament, or it may be the outside the parliament. If I take example in Karnataka only, there are 5 guarantee schemes. Many are in favor of the guarantee scheme. Many are in opposite to the guarantee schemes. So it all depends upon the how our political parties will debate and introduce and manage us all these freebies, not burdening the common man or the people. So particularly we can say that the debate is weakened and not supported to the people. A kind of authoritarian tendency under a strong leaders was started. So today our leaders become very, very authoritarian or the strong. Questioning them, it becomes difficult. In one way, we can say that there is some way, there is a decline of the democratic system. So we can witness polarization and the social divisions, especially among the religious lines, dividing the people in the name of the religion, caste, language, like Hindu, Muslim, Kannada, Marathi, okay, are the south and the north. So divisions will become a popular today. That leads to somewhere the collapse of the justice and development of the people. So like that, there are some of the negative consequences also, we can say that because of the populisms, programs and the schemes. Overall, this contemporary populism in India is a complex hybrid. You can say the complex hybrid combining Hindu nationalism with digital governance and charismatic leadership like a Modi and others, a welfare populisms and anti-elite discourse where the common people started gaining importance. So it's all reshaped Indian democracy, energizing the new voters, the young voters. Our participations becomes crucial and played a significant role in deciding the powers of the political parties. So delivering the welfare, but also undermining the popularism and institutional autonomy. So this is about today's my class on politics of the populisms and the post-colonial